I suppose in a way when it comes to the One Health agenda, I see it as a useful badge, but I'm somewhat questioning of it. In that it's useful for saying we should be putting funds into it. Emerging infections continue to be important. We're dealing with coronaviruses now in the Middle East. But when it comes down to people actually making decisions and doing things in animal health husbandry for human health, I find there's a gap there. So that, for example, we know that a certain amount of animal influenzas will move over to humans, but there is a frank refusal to monitor those in a commercial large-scale production, in say pigs in particular, because it's not of economic importance for the industry. And so saying, well, why should we monitor for swine influenzas when in fact it's going to be of no import. We're never going to try to cull pigs, we're not going to immunise them, and it just gives us a problem if we say to the public there's influenza in this meat, the pigs the meat comes from, so we're not going to monitor it. So at the moment, in many parts of the world, we have no idea what is circulating in the pigs. This came up recently in North America, where it came as a shock to people that there was a particular new variant in the pigs there, and people became aware of it when people started getting sick with it. So we had what's called sentinel people for monitoring the levels of infections in the pig population in the United States. So I believe in One Health, but I'm a little bit cynical as to whether the read across there and whether you do get changes in animal husbandry, particularly surveillance in animal husbandry, if it potentially threatens the production of of industrial food products. Very, very valid approach. It's an essential approach, but I'm just questioning as to whether people are prepared to see it through. Another example of that, here we had in 2009 H1N1 pandemic of an influenza that clearly came from pigs in one country in the world. I have no idea how it came out of the pigs into humans in that country. And I don't think there's been any investigations as to how it happened and what could have been the intervention points. Once it was out, we knew it was too late, but you really ought to be looking back to try and see what was it that was done in a moderately industrialised country to say, let's learn for that for the future. It comes back to the point I just made, that we're not monitoring for these swine influenzas in pigs in most countries in the world. And here you have, as a result of one of the failures of it, even if it's simply to know there is this new virus out there, it potentially transmits, for goodness sake, let's have the diagnostics and the vaccines starting to be developed before it sort of jumps out and starts hitting humans.